I've been spending most my days in the cell, in my spreadsheet, still try to excel, but my skeletons won't let me. Shout out to my brother's mother, ain't raised no deadbeats, ain't trying to be forgiven, I just want them to forget me. So just leave me alone, you'll see it's something I've outgrown. I'm just making sure the verse is worth my wife waiting at home. And then with so much pride, without looking at the sky, I saw both my sons rise by looking in their eyes, and that's the compromise. And we ain't got no dance for it, never stopped to complaining, I ain't got no plans for it. Made a few fans for it, you can watch me stand for it, just to show them that I got their back like Jan Sport. So this is you now being a witness to the growth of all of it, and me seeing the mission through. It's not enough to stare at the sky when they're missing you, so I'ma give my children something they could listen to.
Walking towards the sun, reflecting all the things I've done. Embrace the shadow always, since it shaped who I've become. And I know I can't be wrong, that is why I spend my time only doing things I love. That is how I live my life, yeah.
You can find me dropping diamonds, all my life I've been about it. Running in the night because I didn't go to college. Instead I left the continent, performing for an audience. Obviously the progress shows the work we do is prominent. Proud of it, I can get us out of this trap before they capture us. Rapture of the biggest felt, but we're beyond the average. Catalyst who fitting well, set to fail, still prevail. Champion, you see the belt? See me now, graffiti style. Looking but can't read my foul. Fasten up your seatbelt. Leaving now, different town. Glancing, taking pics out the backseat of the taxi. Crazy time is passing and the memories are stacking. Smoking cigarettes at sunrise, bloodshot eyes. I'm just laughing at the fun times. If all love dies, at least we gave it all. I pray for y'all and say a little something. Forever in your heart, it's my art, no discussion.
Walking towards the sun, reflecting all the things I've done. Embrace the shadow always, since it shaped who I've become. And I know I can't be wrong, that is why I spend my time only doing things I love. That is how I live my life,
You are now tuned in to the freshest, the dopest, the one and only www.diggingdaily.com. This is The Way Radio, broadcasting live from Northeast Los Angeles Hotbox Studios. And as always, we got special guests live in studio. We got a champion who just played champions right here. Who we got? Introduce yourself, homeboy.
What up, what up, what up? My name is ZENALOA, coming out of Orange County, California, / Culiacan, Sinaloa. Thank you to Digging Daily for having me. Appreciate the invite.
Oh, no doubt. Thank you for coming through, brother. We gotta support dope artists, and we gotta support dope music.
Gracias.
So why would we not have you in here?
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate that.
Opening track, Champions, man. Talk about that real quick.
Yeah, Champions, man. That's one of the songs off the last album called Why I Oughta. So if you haven't heard Why I Oughta, make sure you check it out. Very special song because I got to have the homegirl Zay sing the hook. She killed the hook and just kind of set the tone for the whole song. Very smooth, very positive, good message. Something that I could play, in the car with my kids, or you could bump, cruising PCH. It's just a feel-good song. And
yeah.
As a lyricist, we always get into the bars and we always get into the, all the lyrical shit. But I wanted to make something that was feel-good, and I was able to do that with Zay and a brother of mine, Spoken Mind, which is somebody who I started rapping with, and he killed that verse. Him and I really have really good chemistry, so when we get on a track together, it's always our best work. So that's Champions off Why I Oughta.
Nice. You know what? I respect what you said right there, that, it's cool to have bars on every verse. You got to have bars on every track, but you got to have some feel-good music.
Yeah, man.
Because you got definitely something you can cruise to, and I like that you said that you brought that out.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, man, give us a little background. Who is ZENALOA?
So, ZENALOA, I started back probably 2008, 2009, and for me it was I was big on freestyling, just putting on a beat, smoking a blunt, and just, freestyling with the homies. And,
yeah.
From that it kind of grew to, all right, let me see what I could write. Let me see what I could put together. Let me see if I could put a song, a whole song together, write a hook, do all that. And I just progressed on making a song, writing a verse, and I got really good feedback, and kind of followed along with the music I listen to, and of course, you know, being an underground hip hop head, heavily influenced by a lot of artists, and I just kept making it to my sound and what I would make, and trying to tell my story and, you know, do it my way. But, you know, big inspirations when it comes to hip hop, being from the West Coast. You know, we got a lot to look for right there. We got a lot of history when it comes to underground hip hop. So I was definitely spoiled on the examples I had. You feel me?
Nice. Let me ask you this: how long were you freestyling before you decided to be like, okay, let's get a little bit more structured with it?
I would say it was probably like 2 years, bro. Like, you know, a good 2 years of just in the car, driving around, you know, freestyling the exit that was coming up, or a car I saw on the left, or, you know, just really improvising and sharpening the skill. And that kind of was cool, because when we go to, like, you know, the backyard parties or hotel parties and freestyle, and I freestyle about, you know, the people that were there, what they were wearing and shit. So it was always a good time, and I always got good feedback. But then when people hit me like, yo, where can I listen to your music? Do you make music? I didn't really have anything to show for that. So that's when I, you know, kind of progressed to the next stage of it.
How important as an artist, because that was you. I like what you said right there. People were hitting you up about music and you didn't have it, though. You didn't have anything to give them because you were just freestyling.
Exactly.
As an artist coming up, man, how important is that, you know, that tangible in your hand CD, something to give somebody? How important is that for you as an artist? I
mean, it just depends on what you're going for. You feel me? Like, there's people that, you know, do that very well, and that's what they're aiming for. You know, they want to be a dope, you know, they can improvise and they freestyle on the spot, and that's their whole MO. You feel me? But for me, I've always been a music fan. You feel me? And I wanted to make music that people could relate to, and it would be on another level. And so for me, you know, when it comes to being an artist, if that's what you're aiming for, if you're trying to make music, you know, you have to always be making music, always being, you know, creating music, and whether you put it out or not, it has to be something consistent, because when it does come to that time where people are like, yo, I want to hear it, it has to be there. You feel me?
Yeah. Who are some of the artists that you actually, like you said, you were influenced from West Coast underground hip hop? Who are some of the artists that actually influenced you in your style? Like
I said, man, I was spoiled, because, you know, I grew up around, you know, the older hip hop heads in my community, and like my older cousins, and, you know, just friends, homies that, you know what I mean, that were doing graffiti, and they brought shit home. So like, I remember I had a Dilated People's tape, like, on cassette, and it was just the 2 first singles before they released the platform. So it was the Work the Angles, and I think it was the Rework the Angles on the backside, or something like that. And Annihilation. There you go. And those two, I was like, yo, this shit is fucking dope. You know what I mean? So Dilated was a big influence, and then I heard from Dilated, you know, I heard a Psycho Realm, which fucking blew my mind. You feel me? Like, and then AC Alone, and then 2 Mex, Visionaries, and it just grew and grew, and it was primarily West Coast, you know what I mean? Because I had heard about East Coast hip hop based on, like, commercial rap, like, you know, obviously, like Biggie, you feel me? Like, all those artists that got, you know, known, the Big Pun and shit, but I never got the underground side till I heard those two were the first two, you know what I mean? Dilated People, Psycho Realm, and you know, once I heard them, it branched out, because, you know, I'm a big fan of J5, and, you know, there's Defari, you know, the Licks. So that whole fucking, like, era of hip hop was, like, you know, what really started this whole hip hop movement in the underground. You know, Project Blowed, the Good Life, and all that shit. Like, super lucky that I got to see that when it was, like, at its prime. You feel me? Let me ask you, what was a song, or what was the artist that when you heard, you were like, I could do this, Bro, I mean, I don't think there was an artist that made me feel like that I could do it, but there was a lot of artists that made me feel like I wanted to do it. You feel me? Really? Because when I went and saw, like, live shows, bro, I was, like, inspired. I mean, I used to skateboard before, and when I would go watch a skate video at home, right after that skate video, I wanted to go skate. Yeah. You feel me? If I watch a Nolan Ryan documentary, I wanted to go throw, you know, baseball. I'm gonna throw a 110 fucking mile per hour pitch right now. Right now, like, I bring my little brother out, like, stand here, like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take advantage real quick, but but that's what it was like. Like I said, right, when I heard, like, those kinds of groups, and then I heard their lyricism, and I studied that shit. Like, from the beginning, it was always like, who produced this? What did they sample? Then the lyrics, right? What did they mean by that? I don't know what that is. What is it? You know what I mean? I remember hearing certain like lyrics that I'm like, well, I don't know what that is at that age. You feel me? Like I was a kid. I was like fucking 12, 13 years old. You know, when they said like when Rocka said from Philly to the circus of Piccadilly, like I didn't know what Piccadilly was. I didn't know that was like a town out in fucking Europe and shit. And then, you know, like I had to connect the dots, but it made me interested in a lot of shit, and it brought a lot of different things that were more of a worldwide thing to like the forefront of my life. You feel me? Because, you know, we're in the hood. We're, you know, you have a certain amount of information, right? And then whatever's given to you, and hip hop is a source of information. So I took it as that. But I was always like that. Like I want to know everything about it, bro. I would either buy or rack the CD just to open that shit up and be like, all right, who produced this? What did they sample? I want to know everything about that. You know what I mean? So just always been a student of that shit, you know?
Nice. How is, you know, being from Orange County, how's the Orange County scene? Different.
It's different, bro. I mean, it's different in like, you know, I've been in it for a minute, you know, and like what I can always say, and I always try to explain to people, especially, you know, people that are from Orange County trying to do it, is we've never really had that great collective. It's always been a lot more about competition than collectiveness, and I feel like that's missing, bro, because everything I just mentioned, everybody I just mentioned, you know, was part of a certain circle. If they're not, they were within that circle already. You know, Psycho Realm would do shows with Dilated, you know, J5, like they're all in the same circle. Soul Assassins, all that shit, like that's how this works. You know, everybody pushes each other up, and I feel like we're getting better at it. I think that, you know, it's tough, you know, because there's a lot of egos in music and especially in rap, you know, and hip hop. But I feel like that's the thing that about Orange County is we all do very well individually, right? But you can't make a movement out of that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And as soon as we get that together, and that's why I always try to be like, you know, that person that tries to give the younger ones the information on this, because it's really them that's going to do it. You know, for me, it's just I'm playing my part, and I'm, you know, I feel like I have a role in the shit. But the next generation is really going to be the forefront of Orange County hip hop, right? Because if I had to ask you a question, right, like, yo, who's your favorite rapper in Orange County? What would you say?
Damn, it's a good question.
And that's the same type of reaction that we always get. You feel me? And like, and the reason is because there's a movement missing where everybody pushes each other up. And bro, there's enough for everybody, bro. That's the competition sometimes doesn't make sense. It's healthy and it's great if it's gonna feed your creativity and your drive, you feel me? But at the end of the day, bro, we can all win, and that's been proven many times, bro.
How did you get the name ZENALOA? You go ahead and take a drink of your beer first. Yeah, I don't want you to be thirsty
gracias.
having to answer that question, because I don't know how long that answer is going to be.
Fucking cotton mouth and shit, you know, answering the question. So, what was the question again?
How'd you get the name ZENALOA?
Oh, yeah. So, ZENALOA was, because my rap name used to be Chaos One, bro.
Chaos.
Right, and it's because that's what I used to write in graffiti. It wasn't even like on purpose. I was just like, you know, that's what I write. That's what I... But I never really liked it as a rap name because, like I said, I always like knew about all these rappers, and I'm like, every fucking name is interesting. But I didn't want to change my name just because until like the time was right. So I was working on one of my first tracks, right? Because the homie Omar, who was engineering for me at the time and recording me, the first time I ever recorded music, he's like, man, you can't use that as a name. So think about what you're gonna put this song, you know, when you put it out. First of all, what is the song gonna be called? And then what are you gonna go by, you know?
What was the reason why he said you couldn't go by that name? Do you remember?
Well, I mean, we agreed on a few things. First of all, I didn't like it.
Okay.
You know, it didn't make sense. I like to write the letters KAOS. Those were all letters that I like to shape in graffiti. If you've done graffiti, you know what I mean.
It flows, and then your hand styles. It works with your hand styles
it's
and
fun,
everything.
Bro,
yeah.
you feel me? So I picked those letters primarily because I wanted to draw them, not because I wanted to go by them, right?
Yeah.
And so when I went by, when we talked about that, it was like, first of all, there's another rapper. There's more rappers named that already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then at the time I listened to a rapper named Chaos. It's K dash OS. You know what I mean? But still, like for me, it was like, I don't want to go by that. Even if you hear it, you know, even if you have to say it out loud, it just didn't make sense. So, you know, being that I'm from Sinaloa, and I really wanted to always kind of, for that to be my image when it came to hip hop, like the representative of, you know, somebody who came from Sinaloa, came from Culiacan, lives in the West Coast, has the hip hop influence, but also has, you know, Chicano influence, and also the you know, in the Sinaloense element, you know what I mean? So I wanted to wrap all that together. So and then Zen is more because I'm a calm dude, you know, when it comes to like, you know, just my personality, and
you have a very chill personality. The times that I've had a chance to sit down next to you,
you feel me? I feel like that's very Zen, you know what I mean? I'm very in control of my emotions, and I like to, you know, be chill, and I always like to make sure everybody is good, and it's like Zen, you know what I mean? It's a good energy. So I thought ZENALOA would be a dope, you know, something to put together where it makes sense on a personal level, and also tells you exactly what I'm about right when you hear the name, because you kind of get intrigued, like, why that, you feel me? And then when you hear the music, you're like, all right, now I understand why, you feel me?
Word up. Let me ask you this. You said something that really stuck out to me. Chicano influence, right? You said that you wanted to have that Chicano influence.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about, like, when it comes down to Chicano rap and the styles that are out there from the artists that get shine or within the movement? What do you feel about the Chicano movement that needs to be better, or not even better, but just that needs to be maybe reflected what you're doing? Because if you really break it down, some cats will say, well, Chicano rap isn't hip hop the way we're doing it on this platform. They'll tie it into like, oh, well, you know, it's like some gangster Chicano rap, low rider scene. Do you feel like it should be opened up more than just that?
It's weird, bro, because it's like, it's all based on perspective, like what I come to find out when it comes to that. Because, like, for example, I don't ever approach anybody and be like, yo, I rap. That's never the first thing I talk about. Like, when I meet somebody, I'm like, yo, like, and it's always because, look, I'm Mexican. Everybody knows that, or you know that if you know me, right? But if you don't know I rap and I say I rap, you automatically think I'm gonna sound like Lil Rob or some shit like that. You feel me? Because of Chicano rap, right? But I feel like now it's expanding, because now you have like different artists, like, you know, like that are making like more trap music, but it's considered Chicano rap. You feel me? And then there's people just, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of changing, which I like. So it's just based on perspective. I mean, I feel like us as a culture, again, you know what I mean? We're finally getting our shine, especially when it comes to like, you know, there's a lot of labels that are on the other side of the music, like corridos and fucking norteño and you know, all that are fucking popping right now and are fucking doing amazing things, bro. And that's the first step, bro. Like, you know, it's just, we have to have that person that really catapults that to the next level. And I feel good about Chicano rap right now, bro, because I feel like everybody's playing their part. You know what I mean? And as long as we all keep playing our part, good shit's gonna happen. Like, that's inevitable, bro.
Nice. Talk about the next track we're gonna play right now, Lighter Fluid.
It's a special song, bro. It's a special song.
For what reasons?
My cousin produced it, number one. So it's one of the first few tracks that he produces. He's my engineer. Sounds Like Monty. Shout out to Sounds Like Monty.
What up, Sounds Like Monty?
He's my little cousin, bro, and he's a great engineer. He did all of Why I Oughta, mixed and mastered that, and he made this beat. And when I heard it, he's like, bro, I knew this was for you, and yeah, he was right, bro. It fit. I wrote my verse to it, and I wrote a verse that I really wrote for like 86 Inca when I did the Deadly Poets Society YouTube. So I wrote it for that, but I knew I wanted to put it on the album, and I was able to get Papa J Ruiz from Colorado. So dude is super dope. I've always listened to his music. I heard him way back when I started, before I even really started, to be honest with you. So I finally had the track to work on with him. And then I also respect dude on another level, because we're both dads, and I really fuck with you know, how he incorporates his family into his whole movement, and that's very respectable. So big ups to Papa J, man.
Word up. We're gonna get into the track right here, Lighter Fluid, ZENALOA, live in studio. This is The Way Radio, broadcasting live, Northeast Los Angeles.
Takes a match to burn a bridge, then you add some lighter fluid, some see how long the road is discouraged. They don't pursue it, but me, I'm running to it. Who else is gonna do it? That's why my whole collective is made up by the truest. Guess they didn't get the memo when I hit them with the facts. This here east of the river and the west side of the tracks. This beer poured for the homies, those who didn't make it back. It's how we show emotion when it's seeping through the cracks. You gon' hear a lot of raps, but you'll never hear me mumble Mexicano in his own lane. On my Jimmy Hum humble. Y como Cuauhtémoc Blanco lo dejo todo en el campo, cumpliendo con las promesas que yo le hice a mis santos. And so we're showing up for ownership since you didn't include us. We really don't owe you shit, don't care how well you're suited. It started with a semilla, now look at how deep we're rooted. A sacrifice to the gods, a privilege to be your student.
I'm like a tank of propane, 5 blow for my pain. And I remember them days, wanna blow out my brains. I'm like the USA dream, making fortune off fame. Kofag funds keep suicidal bitches on blade. When I was dead broke, no one ever came to my aid. I love the block, it was either get killed or get paid. I meditate, pray, and I stayed in my lane. People left planting my own seed and watered and wait. Watch my tree grow, now I just sit in the shade. People throw shade, homie, that's a part of the game. Soy el niño callejero, le robé el vecino. Dios me bendiga mis niños, les doy besitos. Life ain't cheap homes, big dreams. Turn my apartment into a big home. 5K ring, yeah, I bought it. Devil on my soul, but that pussy hasn't bought it. Rap is entertainment and I'm selling if you buying.
You are now tuned into the freshest, the dopest, the one and only. This is The Way Radio, broadcasting live right here on diganddaily.com. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because you already know we bring nothing but that dopeness live in studio. Right now we got ZENALOA live in the spot. Lighter Fluid is the track.
Yes, sir.
Dope track, homeboy. Dope track.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. That's the first time everybody's heard it. You feel me? So that's an exclusive, unreleased. That's for the new project that's coming out in December. So
talk about the new project.
So the new project, man. So, you know, the new project's called Fair Enough. You feel me? I always try to title like my albums how I feel at the time.
So what were you feeling at the time that you wanted to title it Fair Enough? What was going on?
It's just like as the saying goes, you feel me? Like I don't really have an argument for shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like whether you want to take my music a certain way, recognize it, acknowledge it, whatever, I'm cool with it, bro. Like I'm very satisfied with what I've done in music and creatively, and it's just like fair enough. Like this is more like just gonna focus on what makes me happy, how I make my music, and that's what I've been going by, and recently it's been working. You know what I mean? It's just more real that way. You feel me?
How many albums did you do before you reached that moment of clarity with your music?
I think the last one was the first one, like
really?
Where I really felt no pressure and just did what I did, and I try to make what I heard in my head. You know what I mean? Like I kind of was going for something specifically, and that was as good as I can paint it from, you know what I mean, from what I thought and what I heard in my head.
So then from going from the first album that you said you felt that way, how was it the next album or next couple albums for you? What were you trying to achieve in that time as an artist? Yeah,
because I mean in the beginning, like before I felt that way and just made it more like, you know, personal to me, I always felt like I had something to prove. You feel me? Like I felt like, man, I got, like, these guys got to give me credit for what I write, and it was like I was trying to get so complex on shit and like be so lyrical to a point because I was trying to get my, you know what I mean, trying to get my dues, like, yo, pay attention, motherfuckers, you know what I mean? But it went, and I made good music under that, you know what I mean? Like under that pressure, and I also feel like I made even better music just taking that experience, you feel me, of that, because the standard of music, bro, like I won't rhyme the same shit over and over again. I won't just say something for a filler, like I can't say that shit, or if it sounds too similar to something that somebody else said, like I'm super crucial about it, bro. And like the attention to detail really mattered when I was under that pressure, you feel me? Like I want to make a name for myself, you feel me? Especially coming from Orange County. I was coming to do shows in LA, you know, and I've been at shows where people are like, yo, all right, this guy's gonna go on right now, and then they go on, not me, they go on, and then the promoter, like 3 songs in, just goes, hey bro, here, like in the middle of the set, like just takes the mic and
Yeah.
says, "Nah, bro, we're good, thank you." Like, so I knew that I had to come with a bar, especially
Yeah.
when I came to LA. So when I went to make music and I felt like that pressure was gone, it was the same exercise. You feel me? But
Yeah.
now I picked up. I could do songs on different topics. I could be a little bit more personal, talk about a little bit different things. It wasn't more about how lyrical can you get, how
Yeah.
complex and the schemes and all that shit.
So during that time when you're writing music and especially with the amount of detail you put to your music, how long does it take for you to bust out an album?
I mean, it just depends, but right now I'm just motivated, man. Right now I'm motivated, and why I oughta took us about 2 years. The homie Junio, who's a childhood friend of mine, he did all the beats to Why I Oughta, right? And then my cousin did the mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
So we did that in 2 years, right? But off that momentum, I made another project, the Fair Enough project. You know what I mean? So
And you said that's coming out in December.
yeah, it's coming out December, and it's coming out on the same date, December 27th, that Why I Oughta came out last year. So that's basically 2 projects in 1 year. You feel me?
Yeah.
Just off that momentum, and then that's 6 tracks. You know what I mean? It's like a short, but very. It's packed. You feel me? It's very packed. And then I have another project coming out in March. That's another 6 tracks, and I didn't want to put them together because I want everybody to have the time, and I want them to each have their space, because I don't want anybody to miss a track, right?
Yeah.
'Cause this is my best work so far, so I'm looking forward to it because I just dropped an album, and then I'm about to drop an album. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
you
I
have
already
another
got
one
an
right up.
I already got an album in
One
the
in the
vault.
clip, ready
Yep.
to go.
So
What's the name of that album going to be called? Do you have a title for it?
I don't have it yet, bro. I don't have it. But it's gonna be what I feel at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like the release of Fair Enough is I'm really looking for feedback. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like on what I created, because first of all, like, I have different producers on that. You know what I mean? I have
Yeah.
producers that I've never worked with before. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to get that feedback, and then I feel like that's gonna give me a sense of where should I take the next one. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this, because with the Why I Oughta, you were working with one producer.
Yeah.
You know, from conversations with producers that have come through, we always talk about this. There's more of a artist producer influence where the album or where the direction's gonna go, kind of more or less, as far as track selection, a little bit more input, I guess, with the way the sound's gonna go. But with working with different producers, how do you get that to accomplish what you're looking for?
Look, bro, the crazy thing about it, right, is when I started, I worked with just one producer. His name was Strange, right? We were in a group called Independent Thinkers. He made all the beats for that. Him and I branched out into a group called The Strangers with a Z, so it was Strange, and then Zen, so Z.
Yeah.
And then he made all the beats for that, right? So then I moved to with another homie of mine. His name is Eddie Rome, one of my best friends, and he made beats for my album called Swishers and Optimos, and it was all him. Then I started working with Junio, and we made an EP called Spaces, and then we made Why I Oughta, right? So I've always worked with just one, and I'm spoiled to the fact that my homies are fucking dope. You know what I mean? Like, I've never really worked on a project with a stranger, bro.
Yeah, you don't gotta go outside of your circle.
I've never gone into a studio and not known what, you know what I mean? Like, I've
Yeah.
been to their house. I know, you know what I mean? I know their parents, like, they know mine, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's so personal, and I'm spoiled because they gave me all these beats and said, hey, pick whatever you want. You know what I mean? And,
Nice.
and I'm going to tell you right now, like, Eddie Rome, he's never produced an album for somebody else.
Really?
And Junio, he's never produced an album for somebody else. So, like, the fact that we've always been exclusive to each other, you know what I mean? It's big, bro. And I'm super inspired whenever the fuck I'm anywhere, bro, and I get an email from either of them, and they're like, yo, beat pack, and I got 3 beats, 4 beats. I'm like, bro, I'm listening to the beats, like, with my phone in my ear and shit, no matter where I'm at. And it's inspirational, you feel me? But now that I've worked with different producers, it was also fun because it was a challenge to me, because now I could work with different shit, you know what I mean? I could pick different things, and I could put together, a different type of puzzle, you feel me? And that's what I try to accomplish with these 2 projects, and they're gonna sound like. That's why I urge everybody to listen to Why I Oughta, because you have to listen to Why I Oughta to really understand the progress on Fair Enough and then what's coming up next,
Nice. Was there a strategy behind that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had something in mind, you know, as far as like beats, and I knew who I wanted to work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the new project, I have, for example, Phase Rock, right? Phase Rock. I used to do shows with him at Malone's with DJ Droops from Out the House. Shout out to Droops.
Yeah.
He had a group as well, and like we used to do shows out there. He used to fucking kill it, you know, wasted talent. He used to have a group over there, so we always we opened up for Psycho Realm there and shit, and like it was cool, man. And I always loved his beat, so I went to Phase Rock with a beat.
Nice.
And then, you know, like my cousin, you know, made a few beats, and then I went to Eddie Rome and he made me some beats, and then the homie Revision is, I don't know if you ever heard of a group called Rebellion Warfare.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
hell yeah.
All right, shout out Rebellion Warfare, yo. So rest in peace, fucking Dosick.
There we go. I was trying to remember, man. I was trying to remember him like
Dosick,
Dosick.
man.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dosick. Yeah.
Rest in peace, homie. So, dude was fucking dope, bro, and like, you know what I mean, like. Dosick and Carnage was fucking dope, and you know, when he passed, his brother Revision actually makes beats. So for me, it was very important to work on a track with him. Plus, he's dope. You know what I mean? Like when you hear the track, it's fucking dope. Kiddo from East of the River's on it.
Nice.
She does a verse on that. So when you hear it, it's gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna be like, yeah, that shit is dope. But also, I like to make my shit more meaningful for a lot of reasons. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that was an extra reason of why that happened. So I got to work with different producers. You feel me?
Well, shit, you worked with different producers, and then right now you just mentioned a lot of different artists that you've worked with. How many? Like, how many artists have you worked with?
A lot, bro. And you know what, man? Like, that's why I know that, like, after this rap shit, after I, like, you know, don't want to go on stage anymore and don't want to go to the studio anymore, like, I want to work with artists because I really feel like I'm very good at picking who on what. You feel me? When I get the emotion from a beat, and I really see the vision, and I feel like, man, this person, you know, and I feel like if you go hear my shit, you'll hear that. Like, I put the right person on the right shit. No one's out of place, you know what I mean? Sometimes you hear shit that's out of place or forced. Like
You could tell they just put it together.
That doesn't happen, you feel me? Like, it's very, very strategized. So, you know, I'm always big on that. So I've worked with a lot of artists, man. Like first of all, like a lot of artists that I grew up listening to, you know what I mean? Like Blame One. I gotta do a track with Blame One. I've always listened to Blame One.
Blame One is a beast. I'll say that.
You feel me? Tumex. I like super stoked when I fucking did a track with Tumex after, you know, listening to his shit for so long. You know, big deal for me. That was a milestone for sure. And you know, and then all the people that I respected are locals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm super blessed that I got Kiddo on this shit. You know, Papa J was on this shit. Doughboy Tony from OC. I don't know if you heard of Doughboy Tony.
I have not heard of him, but
you
I'm
gotta
gonna look him up
listen
after
to
this.
Doughboy Tony, bro. He's next, bro. Like you heard it here first, bro. Like, you know, every time I see the kid, bro, because he's younger, man, and I always tell him what I can to play my role, you know what I mean? But he's next, and he has it, and he's fucking dope, and he's humble, and he's a good person, and you know, he did the first verse on Benji Gill on one of my new tracks, but dude is next. You gotta check him out. So if you're watching this and have not heard about Doughboy Tony, go look him up. Go look it up, bro.
Look him up.
Go look it up.
Look him up.
But I mean, Doughboy Tony was another one. Spoken Mind, who goes by Arloya now. He's a, you know, a homie. Bobby Lungs, a homie. You know, so I got to work with a lot of the people that are just, you know, my friends, and we got in the studio and we made really, really dope shit, you know. So that's always been big. I mean, on the last one, I had some people from Culiacan too. You know, I had Salvado's super dope.
Yeah.
He did a track on there called Tres Banderas and it was like, this is where I like went and kind of got creative on the shit, because he's from Culiacan, you know, I'm from OC, and then the homie Pablo, he's from a group called H Limitados from Madrid in Spain.
Word, okay.
And he did a verse, so it was called Tres Banderas because it's three people from three different spots. So he killed it, and
all
then
in Spanish.
All in Spanish,
nice.
bro. And then
how as an artist, being able to do both English and Spanish, how do you like that? How do you?
Oh, that's my shit.
How do you feel about that?
That's my shit, bro, because nobody's figured that out. Nobody's cracked that code, bro. Like, I know there's a lot of dope, everybody watching this, like, oh, there's a lot of dope Spanish rappers. Yes, there's a lot of dope Spanish rappers. There's a lot of dope Mexican rappers. that rap in English too, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have a lot of people that have a complex fucking vocabulary to the point that they could rhyme shit in Spanish and English. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have that where they can like get that detailed on shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, and that's something that I discovered, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna run with this shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, I love that shit, man, and I feel like when I perform that, it comes off that way. You feel me? Like, yo, like this guy really knows what he's talking about. Because, you know, even if you speak Spanish, right? Like, if when you go to write shit and rap shit, you know, if you don't really speak Spanish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can hear it, bro.
Yeah, you can't use slang words too. You have to have like, because there's a lot of double meanings with words. You really got to use it in the context that you.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, shout out to all the homies that, you know, do that shit, but you got to think about that shit, because you got to like.
Let me hear your hardest verse in Spanish right here.
My hardest verse in Spanish.
Acapella.
Oh shit. Okay, so
put you on the spot.
I mean, I got a few, bro. So you're gonna have to let me go if you're gonna make me do this.
Go. Yeah, it's the handle. Hey, let him get a beer first. This is the way radio, ZENALOA.
All right, so I got Por el salvado empezado, Zen está preparado con el mismo mensaje, por eso colaboramos. Cuando aterrizamos ni opinan del resultado. Por mal hablado me llaman mal educado, pero gente platican, critican y perjudican, los mismos que en persona te abrazan y felicitan. Acepten esta derrota, háganse a la orilla, por ser buen perdedor les toco franco de vita. Crecí con enseñanzas que sin sacrificio en este mundo no avanzas, hay que seguir chingándole mientras otros descansan, y que sobresalir será la mejor venganza, pues no se pasen de lanza. Suficiente el aviso, pensamiento en mente, entré sin pedir permiso, tengo su atención pues ya se hizo el hechizo. Ahora me tranquilizo, tomando tiempo lijo a quien le toca el cenizo. How's that one?
Nice. You ain't playing about the wordplay on that.
Nah, bro.
You ain't playing about the wordplay. Yeah, drink another beer. You sound like you're a little thirsty there.
Cotton mouth, bro. I got the cotton mouth, you know?
That's what's up. What do you think for yourself, ZENALOA? Like, what do you think your legacy is gonna be that you're trying to leave?
I play my part, bro. You feel me? Like, I play my part. I wanted to fucking exhibit fucking skill. You know what I mean? I wanted to fucking put on for where I'm from. You know what I mean? I wanted to represent, and I feel like I did that, bro. And like, shit, well satisfied, man. Like I said, you know what I mean? Blessed to fucking share the stage with the people I have. Blessed to work on music. Blessed to fucking have people like you guys fucking inviting me out here. So I'm very content with the result of it, bro.
You mentioned the artist you're working with in Culiacan. How was the hip hop out there in Culiacan? What made you reach out to? I know that you being from there, descendant of it, but what made you want to reach out there to work with the artist?
You know, because first of all, I'm a fan of it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, it's different. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of boom bap out there. So when I see it, you know, it was, especially being from my city, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And they were dope, and I just wanted to be a part of it, and I also wanted to put them on here, like, and I wanted to share my audience with them, like, immediately. You know what I mean? So that was big, and they're cool people, bro. Like, I just hung out with them when I was in Culiacan, you know, last month. You know.
Nice.
They're those kinds of people. They fucking pick me up. They take me to the studio. They fucking, you know, go shoot a video with me and shit. Like, I love that shit, bro. So, you know, shout out to everybody in Culiacan. And the scene's there, bro, and it's building, and they're starting to do more shows. And,
nice.
You know, we're going to get to a point where, you know, I was just talking to Mad Max about this, and I want to take the people from here that really represent the culture out here, and I want to take them out there, you feel me? And just do a fucking little festival with all of us, you feel me?
Nice.
And again, put on, bro. Bring the audience, and make sure that, you know, that's another move, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. We're gonna get to another track right here, Automatic. Talk about that.
Automatic is cool, bro. Automatic is a song. It's an anthem for my city, bro. San Juan Capistrano, that's where I grew up. And that's a little city, you know, in South OC, where, you know, every March, the swallows return, you know, when they migrate back up. So we always throw a parade, and we were talking about the swallows, and we were talking about our city and a few circumstances that you have in every neighborhood, and you know, that everybody sees. And we were just trying to put something together for our community to be proud of, you know what I mean, and for the kids to be able to listen to and feel proud of, and, you know, it's something positive as a positive message, because there's choices that they're gonna make. There's some of them that are gonna make them now, and there's some of them that they're gonna make them in the future, and we just wanted to put something together that could shine light on on the fact that there's different options and there's also different consequences. You feel me?
Life is strange and death is easy. Diamond's heart is full of mystery. When will I know where the swallows go?
Got my mind made up, it's automatic. Gotta rise and progress, it's automatic. Rise up, it's automatic, automatic. Clap back, got my phone automatic. Rise up, it's automatic, automatic. Clap back, got my phone automatic.
Said it, then we did it, bro. Ghetto kids from Mexico. Golden bars, éxitos. Alchemy and stereo. Música mi bendición. Siempre fui auténtico. Fluidness to let you know. This is where we started on sidewalks, kicking knowledge. California, where my heart is. Son of migrant parents starving. Left the harvest to make dollars like swallows to Capistrano. Coming back to claim what's ours. Power. To the people, sufrimiento y sacrificio. Unidos hacemos ruido, salimos del nido listos. Volando, viajando, sigo. Familia, las golondrinas. From Villas to Carolinas, yo sigo.
Where the swallows go.
Got my mind made up, it's automatic. Gotta rise and progress, it's automatic. Rise up, it's automatic, automatic. Clap back, got my phone automatic. Rise up, it's automatic, automatic. Clap back, got my phone automatic.
Let me tell you how we did it though. All came together, formed a committee, so been on the grind paying dues, and the city knows, raised by the laws of the gritty folks. Never needed pity though, this life wasn't made for them. Swallows don't return, we still throw a parade for them. Some can never leave, all we can do is pray for them. Fucked up thing about it, there ain't nothing you can say to them. See, when shit ain't adding up and it don't take a mathematician, when you're trying to catch a rep and end up catching a conviction on the road to perdition. It's sad to watch the collision. Now instead of living with them, gotta die with your decisions. Role models growing up, I'd have to visit in prison. Picked up the phone across the glass, making sure I'd listen. Went home and rewrote the vision. I scripted it to fruition, and the bells will always ring to remind us.
Got my mind made up, it's automatic. Gotta rise and progress, it's automatic. Rise up, it's automatic, automatic. Clap back, got my phone automatic. Rise up, it's automatic, automatic. Clap back, got my phone automatic. Rise up, it's automatic, automatic. Clap back, got my phone automatic. Rise up, it's automatic, automatic. Clap back, got my phone automatic.
In the lead, it's that hard act to follow. The acrobatic swallow, flipping birds to the pigs and the birds, from the thugs to the nerds. So fuck what you heard, it ain't my concern. You live and you learn, take risks in return. Been young with it since Bet de la Bird. Word, can't nobody take what I earned. Really live what I'm spitting. I flew away to the city, couldn't stay trapped anymore. Figured I'd handle my business, maneuver how I do, then I asked for forgiveness. Had to put in the work, wasn't just placed in position. Some have heart, no ambition, believe the me, no one listened. When no G shared wisdom, lost some swallows to prisons, others to death, and we miss them. But I remain optimistic, I'm gonna finish my mission, carry tradition.
Yo.
This is the way radio broadcasting live ZENALOA, live in the spot, Northeast Los Angeles. Who was on that track again, bro? That was a dope ass track.
So that was our Loya and Bobby Lungs rapping on it, and then we also had Crystal the Indigo singing the hook and singing the vocals on that. That was produced by both Omar Loya and Dan Diggable.
Nice.
So shout out to everybody that contributed to that track. That was another fucking special moment in the studio, bro. all happened in one night. So shout out to everyone.
Nice. Let me ask you this, brother. What musically, where you started to where you're at now? What are the things you're most proud of?
Shit, man. Where the music has reached, you know, because I've gone to, you know, talk to a lot of people from different places where the music reached, which that was fucking cool. You know, being able to do shows, which I'm not really fucking too comfortable with that shit, but I got good at it just based on the fact that I wanted to do it right. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's another factor that I'm very proud of, and then just the fucking catalog, bro. Like I'm just about 100 songs, bro. I'm just about, you know. So that's like,
that's a huge ass catalog.
You feel me? And like that's like I don't feel like there's verses that you're like, oh, that shit was whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm proud of that. Like I really set out to make a lot of music, and I did that shit, bro.
Nice. And then I want to ask you this, bro. You got any upcoming shows?
Yeah, I got a show tomorrow.
Nice.
A show tomorrow. Shout out to Beardo for the invite. Black Books and Rhymes. So that's gonna be dope. Right here in LA. A lot of dope acts, bro. So we got, you know, Bobby Lungs that was on that track is gonna perform, and that's super dope because I get to do a show with my homie. Mad Max is gonna be there. Gucci Mar is gonna be there. So it's gonna be dope, man. DJ Essa, DJ Survivor gonna be there. So it's gonna be a good time. I get to hang out with the homies, and I get to perform, and shit, it's all good.
You said that when you felt a little uncomfortable performing on shows. What were the things that made you feel uncomfortable about that?
I mean, I just didn't. I've never been the rapper guy. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to go up there and be the rapper guy. And like I talk about it in one of the tracks, Matches. The first verse in Matches is like me explaining what performing is to me. Like I talk about the stage, the curtains and shit, and like that's if you listen to Matches, the first verse is about me on stage and finally getting over the fact that like, yo, I'm on stage, just fucking do what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But let me ask you, what's the difference between doing that on stage and battle rapping or freestyling with cats at a backyard?
Because freestyling, bro, was like a fucking source of energy, bro. Like I just tapped in. Like as soon as I tapped in, like that was it, bro. I didn't really even give a fuck about the people. Like I was just doing what I felt like. It gave me that fucking adrenaline, you know what I mean? The reactions and the O's and just fucking rebuttaling shit, and you know what I mean? Like that shit was fun, and it took me a while to get that from performing because I wasn't comfortable with it. You feel me? Really? Now it's different. Now I enjoy it because I feed off the same things I used to when I was freestyling, you know?
Yeah.
But it was just the factor that I was out there rehearsing songs, and bro, I was always fucking terrible at memorizing songs, man. And
then you got like 100 songs. I mean, shit. How does one remember all those verses?
Well, the problem is that I'll write a verse and then I'll record it, right? And I'll read it off the paper or whatever, and then that was it. Like I would put it out, and I didn't go and remember it, like you know, memorize it. You feel me? That's why now I'll perform songs before I record them in the studio.
Word, okay.
So I'll memorize the shit and go perform it multiple times so I can know the breathing pockets and everything.
Yeah.
Then I go record it, and I'll do it in one fucking take just because I already performed it so many times. You know?
But isn't it? Because I remember having this conversation with an artist, and he was like, "Oh man, anytime you do music, you have to do music on the spot. You're a real artist if you write right when you get to the studio." But then I was like, but then you're kind of not. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not true.
Yeah, I mean.
But then I'm saying, but I was like, well, wait a second. If you know you know what you're writing, and you sit in there, you're not, like you said, you're not reading a piece of paper. You can't tell.
Yeah.
I know some cats can pull it off, but you know the wordplay with it, because you already know it. You could develop your style to that track and give it a little bit more meaning, right?
It sounds better, bro.
Yeah.
Here and look, you know this because you're a listener. You can hear when somebody's reading it off the paper, bro.
Yeah.
You can hear it. You know what I mean? Like, or is punching in. You know what I mean? Shit like that. You know. So I'm just like, you know, this is the way I do it. And then I've changed it. Before I used to write, and like now, and I wouldn't memorize it. I would memorize it after I would record it. I would memorize the recording. You know what I mean? Now I memorize the verses, and then I go record it, and it just sounds cleaner. You know?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Where you see yourself 5 years from now, brother?
Shit, man, probably fucking enjoying the fact that I just put out my last piece of work, and just fucking basking in the fact that I got to do it for so long, and I was fucking privileged to, you know, to do a lot of shit in hip hop and be a part of it. that's my plan, bro. I'm gonna drop these 2, and then I'm gonna take my sweet ass time. But I want to make one more thing that I have visualized in my head, and then I want to go play a different part in hip hop. Like I said, I want to fucking mentor other fucking artists, and I want to get into this kind of situation where I can speak on a lot of things and different stages of hip hop. You feel me?
Feel you, brother. I feel you. I know you got the video. I know you did a video shoot at Angel Stadium. You guys did like a little pre-game video.
Yeah.
You know, before the game and everything. Talk about that, brother.
Yo, that shit was tight. Like, I'm an Angel fan, bro. So I'm always at that spot, anyways. You know.
Yeah.
So we made a song.
Go Dodgers.
Whatever, bro.
I'm just counting,
we're both at home right now. You know? But nah, bro. So, you know, this song, Eddie Rome sent it to me, right? And he sampled some corrido shit, and he sent it to me, and I was at an Angel game, and like I said, I just pulled it up and I fucking heard it on my phone, and I was like, oh, that shit is so tight. Like, it's a boom bap fucking corrido beat. Like, nobody's nailed it to this point where it's like that, it knocks that hard, but it still has this shit, you know? So I started brainstorming, and you know, I named it Benji Gill because Benji Gill is a baseball player that he used to play for the Tomateros in Culiacan, right? So I watched him as a kid, and he won a few championships out there. He was the shit out there, right? So he was the all-star, and he won a few championships, and then he moved up to the majors. And in 2002, when the Angels won the championship, he was on that team.
Word,
right?
Okay.
So then, when he retired, he went and he became the coach of the Tomateros in Culiacan, right? And then he won a few championships there. And then this last year, he was a coach for the Angels. He was the first base coach. So he was back over here. So I always related to the fact that I'm from Culiacan. I'm a Tomatero fan. And then I'm also from OC. And I'm an Angel fan. And he played for both teams in both places. So it was like a homage to him because he's a big part of the culture out there, bro. Like anybody from out there knows who the fuck that guy is. And he's super cool, man. He hooked it up today. You know, this year when we went out there, got us some autographs for the kids and said what's up, and came out and greeted us, and that shit was just a good experience as a fan. You feel me? Like
hell yeah.
It was super dope. So shout out to him. But Doughboy Tony does a verse on that, and then the homie Kevin Saldana does the hook, and it's like straight fucking dope hook, man, in Spanish. He's singing it, and he's such a dope singer. Check him out too. But we were able to put out a dope ass song, man, and it represents the culture, you know what I mean? And then we wanted to shoot the video there, so we just invited a bunch of homies, and we all showed up and just had a few beers, and you know, had some food, and enjoyed ourselves, and shot a video, you know what I mean?
That's what's up.
That's Benji Gill.
That's what's up. We're gonna play it before we close out, but before we do that, real quick, man, where can we find ZENALOA's music? What's the best way for artists to get in contact with you, producers if they want to send you music? Are you open to that?
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Sweet.
You know, hell yeah, I'm open to that. Just any beats that you want to send, ZENALOAmusic@icloud.com. And yeah, man, I'm open to that, man. Anything dope and anything that inspires me to you know, write something down, I'm with it, man. And you know, as far as like streaming platforms, just ZENALOA, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, you know, YouTube, all that shit. But yeah, go on YouTube. I got a few videos, you know, already. Indistinct Chatter is a super dope video. I did a verse in Spanish, did a verse in English, and then Benji Gill that just dropped. So check that out.
Nice. Any shout outs before we close out, brother?
Yeah, man, you know, shout out to 86 Inca, shout out to the Unity Project, you know, Rec One, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Always
have to shout out the homie. We think of you every single fucking day, man. We still putting on for you, so shout out to Rec One. And you know, shout out to everybody that's riding with me, everybody that's contributed to the cause and the movement and everything I've done, everybody that comes out to fucking shows and supports, everybody that shares my shit on a daily basis. You know, that shit is everything to me, so I appreciate y'all. Gracias.
Make sure you guys check it out, ZENALOA.com. Google ZENALOA for everything. Available on all streaming platforms. Make sure you guys check out Why I Oughta. It's already out right now, and then dropping December 27th. We got the new project, Fair Enough. And then in March, you said, right, we got another project dropping down.
Yeah, man, that shit is a special one, and it's another accomplishment. It's another first, like, full circle moment for me, because I have Rocka from Dilated Peoples that's featured on that shit. And you know, I again, right? That's where I started.
If you just
feel
heard
me?
the interview, you know how big that is.
You know what I mean? And I mean, just like I said, right? Yeah, like you heard it. You know what I mean? Like that shit. That's where it started. That's just where it's going, and that's special to me. It's a special moment, and you know that's gonna be on that. So a lot to look forward to. You feel me?
Word up.
A lot to look forward to.
Support dope music. Support dope artists. Make sure you support ZENALOA. Check them out.
Digging Dave.
I want to say thank you very much for coming through, brother. It was great getting to know you more on a personal level during this interview.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
No doubt, brother. I want to wish you nothing but success in the future, bro. You got some dope shit coming out, brother, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you got left in your next couple albums that you do. And like I said, I want to wish you nothing but success, brother.
Muchas gracias, bro. Appreciate it. Digging Daily.
No doubt.
Yes, sabes.
Benji Gill, right here. We are the freshest. We are the dopest. We are the one and only. DiggingDaily.com. This is The Way Radio, broadcasting live from Northeast Los Angeles. Big up Boxer Hot Box Studios. You already know how it is. DiggingDaily.com.
Una chela pa' la cruda, pisteo alcohol hasta que me peguen las agruras. No lo sudas, don't get violent, but I'll probably spit at juras. I'll get the props that I deserve, so no lo dudas. Naranjero, Orange County, what I'm reppin'. A charo and a tomatero coming from the section. ZENALOA and myself, so learn a lesson. Bar spitting Mexicans, you know we get the testing. Una espada doble filo, protects me from the enemies and all the fake amigos. Fake smiles and fake caps, yeah, we don't need those. All the traicioneros les dedico unos corridos. Paz y feria lo que ocupo en mi vida. El respeto me lo gano con carisma. Born to win, I'm next, so make a fila. And the bar that we setting coming high, so ponte pilas.
Aquí seguimos bateando, cada día progresando. Gracias a Dios por lo que me ha dado. Y nunca me verán abajo, pues todo yo me lo he figurado. Sin agallas no hay gloria, ya está comprobado.
Culiacán y Orange County, Tomatero y Serafín. Campeón de los dos sitios como lo hizo Benjamín. But I don't really care for trophies, I don't even keep them clean. I'm just focused on the legacy I'm leaving with my team. Aquí va otra propuesta con el verbo malandrín. Para darles una muestra, me la pelan bien machín. Aquí con mi obra maestra, con el dope boy on the scene. It's not what you'd expected, everything's not what it seems. No se vayan con la finta de lo que ven en Insta. Grams that I burn con mi leño full of green stuff. Some understand, some don't get what I think of. That's where I draw the line con la tinta. Se pinta aquí con la gorra guinda. El compa de culichi. With every verse I drop, it's just getting harder to reach me. Bajita la mano the way I'm moving discreetly. And move with the culture so nobody can defeat me.
Aquí seguimos bateando, cada día progresando. Gracias a Dios por lo que me ha dado. Y nunca me verán abajo, pues todo yo me lo he figurado. Sin agallas no hay gloria, ya está comprobado.
Un gran saludo a toda la afición de los Angels con quien ganaré el Acero Mundial en 2002 y obvio a la Nación Guinda, a toda la afición de Tomateros, 100% Tomateros. Saludos y arriba Culiacán.